Right, hello and welcome to another GCBASIC demonstration. This time I'm going to be talking through a 7-inch GLCD, developing a new driver. Let's have a look at what's going on. I've got a new GLCD driver, and essentially I'm going to take you through the whole process. So this is really an introduction to what the 7-inch GLCD is, and we'll take you through over a series of videos the display itself. I've got the box on the desk there, but what we're going to do is to start with is just look at what this is. I'll have a look on the web. Okay, here we go. So here's a web page I'm putting together. It's up on the help on the GitHub on the help. Essentially, what we've got is a 7-inch display, and this display looks like this. We'll have a look at one in a moment, and they're from Sur New. And they're actually talking. I am talking to them directly to get help to get this driver written. What do they look like? If I look at a product there's a list of all the different modules. Let's have a quick look. What do they look like? They look like this. They supposed to produce pictures that look like this. Where is that? Is that Cambridge or Oxford? I don't know. So there's two different types of displays. There's a 1024 by 600 display and an 800 by 480 display. What makes these remarkably different from other GLCDs is that they've got a lot of different capabilities in terms of offloading the mathematical calculations for the graphic primitives into the GLCD itself. Relatively cheap, £43 British sterling for one, and the other one is £47.88 from into the UK. Probably actually cheaper in the United States of America and other countries. So this is what the target is. Obviously, we'll try and get pictures up there at some point, but we're going to start with the primitives, and we're creating this. As I said, there's a website that you can look at to see how this is developing. There are many. Oh, so sorry. There are many different displays available, but we're actually going to get 3 of them working, and hopefully, oh, I'm so sorry. Hopefully that will then cover the rest as well. So the ones we're going to be covering are the 800 by 480. It's an SPI device. There is multi-point touch on that, so there's a touch driver as well. There's a 1000 by 600. That's got the touch as well. So anything in here with a yes. So there's a yes here, a yes here. What is this one? This is a new one. There's 2 different types. There's a black PCB and a blue PCB. They're sending me a black one as I speak, and I'll explain that in a moment and go deeper. You'll be able to select various different products, and essentially what these products come down to is the pixel and whether it's got a capacitive touch. CTP means capacitive touch, and that uses a particular chipset called the GT5426. So capacitive works. NTP here, that means no touch, basically. No touch. And obviously, if you don't have touch, if you just want a display, there's a cheaper one. LPT is a slightly larger screen, larger, or is it larger? No, it's larger capacitive touch. Not quite sure what that means, but we haven't got one of those, but it should work. And then if you go, there is another product called an RTP, which is a resistive touch. We don't have a library for that, and we're not going to write a library. Okay, so the ones that we're going to actually work on is essentially like this little table here. We're going to have an 800 by 480 3-wire SPI tick, put a tick in there. 1024 by 600. We are going to have a driver for that in a 3-wire and 4-wire. So we will not have a 4-wire 800 by 480. Why? Because they don't produce one. Okay. What do they look like? This is the back of the PCB, and the rest of this then goes into the connectivity. But I'm going to go to do something I don't normally do. I'm actually going to do a bit of unboxing. Okay. All right. This is my box that arrived. Let me just zoom in on that for you. Essentially, what you get is a box. some packing. I'll put it aside. You get some PCB bolts, I'm going to call them. What else is in here? Some displays. There's a display. We'll look at that in a moment. Another display because they sent me two. Now I paid for these. Well, I didn't pay for them, to be quite frank. Steve Scott did. Steve Scott wants this driver to be written, and he paid for those. I paid for the others. There's two 20-way ribbons, which we're not going to use. I'll explain why in another video, but we're not going to use those. Let me take that box away. Great. So that means on my desk here, I've got a display. It's not cracked, it's just the cover. Let me just get a conventional English rule out. That is a 7-inch display. Still got, this one's got a slightly different screen cover on. That is a 7-inch display. Great. So what we've got is two. They look like that. You can see me in the shadow there. They look slightly different on the back. Now, I have complained to Sunu on this. Let me just zoom in on that. There we go. Great. I'm going to zoom out so you can see the whole thing. I think that's what we need to do to start with. They are slightly different because they're different resolutions. Let's not worry about, let's look at the general shape at the moment. General PCB, there is a ribbon cable into the LCD here, and it's got a particular shape. If I just show you the other one, you can see instantly the difference. Now, there is no marking here in this little table. There's a little table here. Look. There's no marking to say which. Oh, wait a minute. I put that on there. There's a little dot on there. Look. I put that on there. No, that's not me because I haven't opened it. That is the difference. You can see there's a slight difference in the ribbon cables, and that means that one is an 800 by 480 and the other one is a 1024 600, and on that web page it shows you which one's which, and it's quite important you know which one's which when you initialize them. Apart from that, they look identical. Okay. Why am I showing you a PCB at this point? Because I knew what was coming, so I've been out and bought a connector. So rather than connect the 20-way ribbon here and struggle with the other end, I've been and bought a connector. Let me go and get a connector. Hold on. Bit of a break for you. I've been and got some edge connectors. These are surface mount edge connectors, and they are going to mount here on the left-hand side of this PCB, and they're just a regular connector there. There we go. But they're surface mount. Cost next to nothing, and they're going to fit there. And I'm going to solder those on there at some point, and then power this thing up. Do the same on the other one. Now, this is all very important. It means it takes the stress off doing the connections. Great. The connections are all documented by Sunu, the manufacturer, which is quite nice. What is this based upon? It's based upon this chipset. Now, hopefully you can see this. This is a LevTop LT7686, and this is quite clever. This has got primitives in there, so drawing of circles and text and triangles, filled triangles and filled boxes is all done automatically inside the graphics controller, which means a microcontroller doesn't have to do the work. A lot of that would be offloaded to this. This connector does touch as well as obviously the GLCD capabilities, and it's blue. This is blue. This is important because there will be a video for the black one. The black one is a later product, and if you're going for the larger resolution of 1024 by 600, you should get a black PCB, and I've listed those on the GitHub website. So, what did I want to show you? I've shown you some product in terms of the new GLCD, the PCBs, etc. themselves, the connectivity, what came in the box, what this connector is going to do. So that's the start of a video. a series that I'll do. Next, I'll do the basic connectivity after I've soldered that little junction box up, and hopefully we'll get some action with respect to getting some action on the GLCD itself. So let's call that a wrap. Thank you.